Hi, I'm back. I'm Jill with Copycat Crafts by Jill. This is part 2 of the series of this folio and how to make it. Uh, you could call it a tutorial, but it's very loosely based on tutorialism. In part 1, we started to put together our base. This is the back, and I know that because it's the pocket. This is the front, and this is my front cover. Here's my flap, so it will look like that. Okay, we also started on our waterfall page, pocket waterfall page, which is here. I did ink mine. I did my homework. I also I just put them in there to figure out where I wanted to put my slit for the band that I'm putting on to hold it down. I picked my tab. I'm going to go with this size tab because I feel too much bigger and it just takes over. However, this one would actually look pretty nice because this is kind of the style I plan to put on the side. And if I would have found this one first, perhaps I would have used this one, and I would have had to make my strip wider to fit this. I made my strip thin to fit this one. Now on the inside, like I said the first time, I did put an extra piece of cardstock on the inside, so that really gives it some strength, because I will have Velcro on mine. You don't have to put Velcro on yours, but I am. I dug this one out just to show you that one that size would work, and you would just need to make a wider strap. I just took one of the pieces of cut-offs, and I cut a piece. It was probably 1.25 inches, I think. Maybe a little bit more than 1.25 inches. And 1.5 inches maybe. And I folded it in half and glued it. Then I rounded the corners on both sides. Then I added this piece of material. I like to add a piece of material so that it's kind of my hinge. It won't wear out even if the paper hinge starts to. The material won't. So I like to add a piece of material. If you don't like the look of that, you can put the piece of material underneath or even in between before you glue them together. That way no one sees the piece of material and yet you're still using it. Okay, I'm gonna put that one away. Okay, I did already put my little slit in there. But I did not glue any of these in yet. I thought we could do that together. You see them sticking out the back. These can be a little fiddly just because you want to make sure that they're all in a straight line and not cockeyed or anything. So I just thought we could do that together. I know I uploaded part 1 this morning. And immediately, I think it was this morning, and immediately I was informed that there was no sound after 9 minutes. However, my video has sound throughout the whole video. I think what happened was I started uploading, and 9 minutes later, I got a phone call. My dad called me, and that must have interfered with the upload, because I shoot my videos from my phone. I upload my videos from my phone. I don't have a computer. So I think when he called me, it somehow messed up the upload and there was no sound. So I deleted it, which meant I lost all the watchers, the viewers, and any comments. I'm sorry about that. I re-uploaded it this morning, or well, late last night actually. Tonight, actually, late tonight. I'm going to upload it because when I upload them late at night, there's a very small chance I will get any phone calls or anything that will interrupt it. So I'm going to film this part 2, upload part 1. Sorry for all the people who suffered through the first video with no sound. I'm re-uploading it with sound, so if you were one of the ones that suffered through the first one, it now has sound. You may want to go back to see if you missed anything. If not, I totally get it. Let's move on. So I'm removing all these, but I do want them, I believe, in this formation. So I'm going to start with the bottom one. And we're going to glue it in. So what I want to just make sure is that I get it fairly straight, and I'm just going to glue it on the back. So I just put my glue under here. I'm going to use this glue so that I have the ability to move it around a little bit. If I flip it over, it's not quite straight. I have the ability to straighten it. The harder I pull it down, the more it's easier to get glue on the back, but I may readjust that a little bit. Alright, so I'm just trying to make sure by eye that it is fairly straight. First one down. Just give that a second, and then we pick the second one. Put that in. You can actually put your glue in before you slide it in. I'm just messy. This is where you want to make sure that the sides are even. So flip it over. Should have left my glue where it was. Come on, glue. We got work to do. Okay, get that in. Sort of put it down. Just make sure we force it where we need it to be. Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And the top one. You want to make sure that all your pocket openings are on the left side, unless you wanted them on the other side. Okay. Get the glue under there. I mean, this whole back will get glued down, so I'm not going to be too... Alright, let's get it where it needs to be, give or take. And there it is, our waterfall. This is the only piece now. I stick it to the back, into the back, I should say. It will be like that, and this will fit like that. And I did want it to come close to the edge, so that should be perfect. But I wanted to get this in first. Okay, before it grabs, I want to spin it over. Just make sure I'm piece is a little bulky. Give it a little extra smush. Now we will glue this onto here. I wouldn't have had to round the corners on that. I don't know why I did, but I did. Alright, I'm just going to put my glue on one side just so I can get it kind of where I want it. Let's see. Right about there. Okay. Alright, now we're just going to hold that down and glue this edge on. Glue this side down. A little much glue. Spread it around. I tend to do that. Put too much glue. Put it down. Let's see. Yep. Oh, I want it over here. There we have it. Okay, now everything everything will stay more where we want it once we glue it into the actual folio. This is the inside, and I wanted this for the inside cover page. Now, if you have an idea for your closure, I'm putting my closure again to the outside like this. But now's the time before you glue these together if you're going to put a string or, you know, a hidden eyelet or whatever it is you prefer before you glue this down. Now, I did learn from Patricia at Le Cafe Craft that when you do let's say a section, before you glue it in, you may want to sit it aside, because once you glue it in, with all this going on, it gets kind of harder to work on other pieces. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We know because of the rounded corners, it's going to go here. Plus we have this one to look at. It's not like we're going to get confused. Famous last words. So I'm just going to sit this aside so that we don't bend anything or whatever. And we're moving on to the next part. Just opening this up so we can see what that next part is. Okay, let me bring it down. I forget that I'm limited in space. Okay, I have a flap or a flip and another flip. This is where you definitely want to, what am I doing? This is where you definitely want to make sure that your piece of paper you pick, when it's the right way and you're looking at it the right way, like this, when you flip it up, you're still looking at it the right way. It's so you wouldn't want to make a flip. This is the right way to look at it. You wouldn't want to make it like this, because now all your numbers are upside down. So I purposely made a couple pieces that I can look at, and when I flip them up, they're fine. Just Just trying to see what some of my choices are. Okay, let me see. This one goes this way. You flip it up and it's sideways. No. Okay, so this is one that goes this way. Yes, okay. Sometimes I mix them up a little. Let's see, I have an extra one. Why do I have an extra one? Nope, that's also one that flips over. Yes, okay. So I also printed out a couple that have nothing on the back. And that is going to be used for the piece, this big pocket. I will be able to use one of these pieces because we don't need anything on the back. So I can pick one of these for in here. So that is my plan for that. And this flip and flip will be picked from, I'm going to, what do I have? Because, okay, so that's the piece underneath it. So I'm going to use this piece. So now I need that flip to go between my last score mark and my first score mark. So for me, my last score mark is here, my first score mark is here, and I want it a hair in so it's not infringing on those score marks. Let me close my glue. Also, I wanted enough room for a tab, but I also needed a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch hinge. Same for down here, there's a 1/4 to 1/2 inch hinge. So we glue on the top and the bottom before we put the pocket on. That way at least the pocket covers most of it. And again, the first flap I want with room for a tab. If you don't want a tab, you may want to bring it down. You may want this up higher. You may not want it to come down that low. I do. So first I'm going to cut it wide-wise. So I want it, let me actually use, just trying to see so I'm not reusing the same. This piece goes like this. So I will use it like this. I'm going to bring it in a hair from that side and a hair from this side. So right about there. Just making sure I got the right piece. Yep, okay. Making sure where my mark is. Right there. Shorter, darker one. Okay, right there. You can always retrim it and make it smaller. You can't make it bigger, right? Okay. Pencil. In case I need that. Now I'm going to put a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch so that I don't forget that I actually need just trying to think which, if I want that. Okay, so I don't think it really matters. All right, here's a 1/4 inch. Here's a 1/2 inch. I'm doing in between a 1/4 and a 1/2. That's what I'm doing. Now I am safe. Okay, so there's my that. That will fit right in there. I am going to round these edges, and I am going to trim these a little bit here. Just, you know what? I'm actually going to round these. Since I'm rounding this, when you open this, this will be rounded. And I'm going to try that. I might like that better. Yep. Okay. Of course, this would have to get inked. But let's try it. So I can pick either way I want it, but I can go this way, flip up, and if I need to trim a little off the bottom, I think I will. I think I want a little more, I'm going to trim a little bit more off the bottom. It's white anyway, so I'm just going to trim a little bit more off and re-round the corners. Trial and error. Trial and error. Okay. It's a lot by eye, so I keep putting it in the wrong spot. Yeah, that's better, because then get the little I'm just gonna do a fitting here. I'm not gluing anything. I'm just getting an idea. So yeah, I like that. That's fine. Keep that out. Keep fitting it. Throw that away. Then we need the pocket that comes up. So I get to decide. I can actually turn this any old way I want. Not really. Alright, so if I have it this way, actually, and that is the other thing, you could make this pocket come out if you wanted. It's your folio, but I have it, my pocket's underneath, so I think I'll do it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to trim the whole piece, and I want the piece to be exactly the same width. Did I just, no, I want the 8 on it for sure, just in case. Do I want the white? I think I do want the white. All right, it's dark enough. We can just want to put a mark on it. I want cutting that off. So this right on the, there we go. All right, trimming that off. I could keep that just in case. All right, so this will be my top pocket. This will be my bottom pocket. It's gonna just fit in there. And now I can decide how high I want it on this one. My pocket measures 3 1/4 high. You can make a higher pocket. I like that size pocket, so I'm going to stick with 3 1/4. So I'm just going to mark it, give or take. Doesn't, again, we're not. Oh, and then to that 3 1/4 high, we want to add another quarter or so. Almost forgot that. Don't forget that. So there's our mark, and we want to add, so if that is 3 1/4, we want to add another quarter, and then that is the mark I can score at. So I could actually even use that one. It would have to bring it down a lot, but at any rate, here's the mark that I made, and that's where I want to score it. So we're going to put it over here, and I'm just going to score close to that mark. They never fall right where you need them to. That one kind of did, so we're just going to score it. I am going to also round these corners, since I rounded the top pocket, flap top, and rounding all edges. Okay. I want it like this. Now this will get a pocket over it like this, because I wanted this to be a pocket, so this will get a pocket over it. The reason I don't just fold it is because then I'd either have to cut it here or it would be too bulky here. So once you cut the whole piece, it's already the right size. All I need to do now is cut the top off. But before I do, I want to make sure it goes this way, I think. Yep, because I want it to be like that. Okay. Hello, my. Oops, sorry. Sorry for the noise. Okay, so right there. Just in case. So now these two will get glued. Oh, I got around the corners. Oh, before I round the corners, I want to see which way I want it. Do I want it the whip? Do I want it that way? Or that way? I don't know. Whichever way I turn the 8, it looks upside down. I'm going to go that way. Just going to... So I have to round these corners. And there we go. So now that one is ready to be glued together. Do I have to... Yep. I may have to take a hair off that. To do that, I'm going to bring this one out. Because really I just need a hair. Oh, okay, that's how much I took off. Let's see if that's what I wanted. Yep, perfect. Now, because this I did make a pocket, I did put a notch on the inside. I did not on the outside. I didn't want a notch on the outside. So if you want a notch on the inside, now's the time to do it. Or you can notch them both at the same time. Get one notch. I just didn't want to see the notch. So I'm going to eyeball the center. Second thought, I probably shouldn't eyeball it. So I will just put this like this. I'm going to mark the center. I like to use my notch. I just think it leaves a cool thing. Put my thing, my mark, kind of centery in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Pretty close though. Okay, so this is actually ready to be inked and glued together. All right, we're going to set that aside because before we go any further, we need to make the pocket for the top. Now, I'm going to look through some of my cutoff pieces. So really, I don't know if I have, oh, those are my files. Let's look over here. Again, you don't have to rip the edge. You can cut it straight. You can do whatever edging you would like on yours. This is mine. It's going to flip up. You can do it this way. You can do it this way. Doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but if you want it exactly like mine, then we want a piece on our flap on this way. So we have blue on the outside. Oh, over here I put blue, so I'm going to put blue on the inside as well. So I'll probably just use that piece. And for me, let's see, we definitely have to trim it. So I did not, the pocket is cut to here. I don't double up on the hinge part of it. It just adds too much bulk. So again, what I'm going to do is, I didn't even bring the pocket all the way over, so I'm going to just decide how, where do I want my pocket to stop? And I'm going to say right about here. So let me just get that. Yeah, I'm going to just say like right about here. And now I know where to start ripping. And before I rip it, I'm going to trim off a piece off the top. So I'm going to fit this in and make my line. That's where, okay, so first, I don't want to have to cut all of it, so I'm just going to cut it right before my line here. There's my line, there's my line. That's where I'm going to start my rip. Then, let's see, did I cut off where I need to trim it? I probably did. It's probably on there, so I'll have to re-measure it, because either way I'm not seeing it. Oh, right there it is. I didn't cut it off. Okay. So right here, and I just want it a hair to the inside of that line. Okay. So I said I wanted blue on the inside. So, yep, I want to round this corner so that I know that's my... Yep. So I'm putting it to that side. So I'm rounding that. Now I want to rip it, and I don't want to rip into too much there, so I may rip it upside down, like this, and rip it at an angle. Doesn't have to be, no rhyme or reason, just ripping. And then there, then that will have to be, did a very steep one, very steep. Okay, So that will fit there. So we're gonna ink up everything. Probably what I'll do, so you don't have to watch me, is I'm gonna pause it and I'm gonna ink everything, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I inked everything. Well, everything except right there, which I'll just ink along this. Give that finished look. I did not glue anything together yet, just inked it. So first we will glue this part together. Get rid of my ink mat. I'm going to use this glue. So just gonna get glue on those 3 sides, and I always put my finger where I don't want glue. Otherwise it's too easy to get mixed up. Okay. Make sure I get it where I'm supposed to have it. You'll probably see why I usually shoot for the glue that I can move around. Okay. Then after this glue dries, yeah, I could have moved it down a hair yet, but I didn't, so reglue that. All right, we can ink any edges once the glue dries. I don't like to ink it before the glue is set. Okay, now there is this one. This is the one that comes down this way, folds up. I want the blue, so we are going to glue these 3 sides. Might as well. This one's a bigger piece. I better use the glue. I know I can move around. So we put a thin line. This glue tends to be a little bit more messier, which is why I get a little more squish out that I have to get my glue eraser for, but okay, and I'm gonna glue it on this side right up to the edge. Make sure it comes down all the way, well, as far as it's going to. Yep. Okay. Let that have a set before we ink any of the edges. All right, so we have our 2 pieces. Okay, yep, I have to ink there. It's a little white on that edge. Put my glue away for now and bring out our model here. Okay, so I have a tab here. I have a tab here. I did put a see-through pocket in. It actually is a piece of vellum that was printed on. So I did not do that with this one. I just felt the paper is quite busy, and I really don't need vellum to see through yet. I'm going to put something on the outside, and if you have already glued yours and you really wanted the vellum, then we can make like a picture frame with see-through vellum and turn it into a pocket on the top if you want. It's just that's an extra step that, especially on this paper, I didn't feel we needed. But we will need the two tabs, and I did use this little decorative piece. These are from, not that one, but these are all from Vibe of Vintage, her digital crafty cuts that I will link. I will link the papers of this kit from Vibe of Vintage. I will link the papers in this kit from Vibe of Vintage, and I will link all of her crafty cuts. They're digital, so you need a Cricut or something like a Cricut to cut them out. Otherwise, you can just use whatever tabs or die cut you may already have. All right, so we're clean off our desk, and I'm gonna get out my tabs. I think I want. I did do some blue ones, but I'm not really. I'm drawn to the black. I also did do some brown, which I do like. As you can see, those might be an option. I'll give one a look-see. Otherwise, I'm going back to good old faithful, and these are the sandable ones. These are not. These were just a file folder. Okay, let me get my... Gotta grunge it up. I actually wanted to grunge this up prior because I've never used this type of file folder to make tabs, and I wasn't too sure how well the ink would dry on them. So I kind of wanted to get some, just play a little bit. Oh, I fold that one so crooked. Okay. And this is why my nails are always walnut stain. All right. I think I kind of like that. Yes, I like the brown. So, hope I have some more. I think I'm going to maybe decorate with a brown piece on the bottom and do a brown round one. See if I have any other brown bits, but doesn't appear as though I do. Okay, well, we will take what we have. I can make brown bits. All right, do this one. I just have a felt, it was actually one that you put on the bottom of furniture, and I cut it the size of my dauber, and I've been using it ever since. I really do need to change it, especially because I did get that pack of like 120 different thing. I just haven't done it. Okay, let's see. Get a little personality there. Let's see, this one, little personality. Okay. Well, maybe I'll just do this one in case I decide to use it. What I do want to do now that I see these are okay is I do want to use the Vibe of Vintage die digital cuts, crafty cuts, and make a bunch of different of hers, because I really kind of like this sort of leathery look or whatever, like that. All right. Now we're going to decide, I believe when I put mine on, what you can do is, well, I'll just show you. On the bottom, I put the front outside and the one on the other end on the inside so that I had my pocket. So that's what I'm going to do here. You could also put it on to the inside and just have it sticking up like that and have it sticking out on the back. But I'm going to, you could even glue it together and just put it to one side or the other and it would be glued together so it's not sticking out on either way. But I like it with the one edge out. So I'm gonna glue the edge inside it first. That is if my glue comes out. Come on, glue, come on out. So we're gonna quickly do that. And I want it probably close to where I did it on the first one. Get my finger in there. I don't need to glue my pocket together. So I just want my finger in there. Making it look way harder than what it is, of course. Alright, get it where I want it. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy down. Okay. Now I'm going to glue it together. Okay. Here we go. Yep. Just pull it out of the hair. Somehow. Did there, that's done. I mean, not done decorating, but then for this we put that there. We could actually put this here, and we can put a little hole through it. So let me get out one of my little hole makers. You can decide what size you want your hole if you want to put one in, but I'm just going to pick the smaller one. And okay, great that I never do it in the center, so this ought to be fun. You may want to measure yours. No, not bad, right? Not bad at all. All right, I'm just gonna kind of yep, do a little touch up there. Okay. Want it to kind of be a little grody, a little grungy, extra grunge. And we're going to glue that on like that. You can even put a little string through it. You wouldn't have had to put a hole in the other side unless you want to put a string. You could also put a little brad. Maybe I'll put a brad. I didn't do anything here. I thought that was fine, but I think if I use that little hole, let me just see something that doesn't stand out enough. Let's see, what do I have? Yes, oh, that's a little long. So I will get I have one of these that I can trim the legs, or whatever you call it, on them. Because I actually do this quite a bit, where I put the brad on, and I'm not gluing it under paper or under something. I need it to, okay, so there. I actually like that. I may just look for another one, put it in the back. They don't match perfect, but they do. Wouldn't matter because they're not on the same. Okay. Let's get this. And there we go. There, whoop, there it is. All right. So now you can glue that on like that, which I like. So just spread that out a little bit so it's not so runny. Hold that in a little bit. Now do this side. Okay. Put that in. There we go. Okay. We will put something on there eventually. Not today. Okay, so now we have our piece. It goes like that. So now we're going to work on this one. I can find what I did with it. All right. So this one, we have the pocket on, so we want to make sure we put this where the pocket is not. But since I put that on, I also want to get a feel. I may want to rearrange, because this one will go like this. This one will go up here. Okay, so yeah, that's not gonna get in the way, and can even move it over a hair. Yep, I like it. Okay, so that's about where it's going, about an inch from the edge. So let's get some glue on it. Get it about where I want it. Whoops. Okay. Down, maybe down. Juge it down a little bit there. Okay. Glue eraser. Whoop, I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry a little bit before I go try to clean it up. Okay, that's where it will be. That is where it wants to live. So we're just gonna finish what we started. There it is. Yep, there it is. Okay, we're going to glue those pieces on. Going to glue the top and the bottom on, and then we're going to leave the center pocket for tomorrow. So we're just going to glue these on and then give all that a chance to dry. Whoop. Yep. So let me get my hair out of my... Let me get down closer. I want it close to the edge. Get that. Whoop, not sticking out. Okay. Open it. Yep. Yep, yep. There we go. Whoop, perfect. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to spin it around. Put the glue on it. Hope I'm in frame. Whoop, I see I have some. Oh, must be on my glue bottle. Okay. Get down and do the same thing. I want it as close to the top without poking out. Then I just want to make sure, yep, we're gonna see that little brown edge, but just got to be okay with that. There it is. Flip it up. Okay. Do one more time. There it is. There it is. Okay. We're gonna let that glue dry really good. So I'm not gonna add. We're not gonna do the pocket that will go here. We also finished this. I'd like that to dry completely before we glue it down. This is where we will pick up with this pocket on our next video. We'll put in my little paper glue in there. We will put this pocket in, and the middle section and the top section will, for the most part, be done. I still have a flat pocket I want to put here, so we'll do that. But and obviously the I think I glue on it. The Velcro. Oh, now I have to ink it. So we're really happy with that. We will finish that, and then we will do this pocket, which will come over here. Now my flap is a little smaller than my flap there because I made both these wider. So I can either make my pocket taller, but I really like that my notches stick out. I really like that, so I'm hoping to achieve that again. That makes it a little hard. Not really making it bigger thing than what it really is. Okay, so far this is what we have. And I guess just let everything dry, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay creative, and hugs.